let's talk about another game. Not as disappointing, even though it was disappointing, but it was a good game, and a couple plays that may have gone a different way. You never know what might have happened. What happened in the last 10 seconds of the first half, second quarter?
So that was the disappointing. The biggest disappointment in the game was the final minute of the first half. I think it had just tons to do with how the second half went in terms of the dictating how that second half went. We get to 7-6 with about 54 seconds left on the clock.
Right about.
I believe they get it down or get it to 20 or 25, whether it went in the end zone or whether they ran it out to the 25. It was somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't really think that Oklahoma was looking to score. If you have 50 seconds on the clock and you have 80-some yards to go and you're trying to score a touchdown, your first play is really a run. They got a few yards, got down to about 40 seconds on the clock, and then they were just like, well, let's just throw one downfield and see what happens.
So just launch.
They threw it downfield, and all of a sudden, there's a 40-yard gain. Now there's 30 seconds left on the clock, and they're in, they're 10, 15 yards away from field goal position. Now all of a sudden it turns into we're going to score. Then they threw another bomb, touchdown. Secondary definitely let them. They let the wide receivers behind them, and if you're going to play the kind of coverage, the nickel formation that they were playing, it was a bend don't break, zone defense at that time. They broke. That's the problem.
You got to get that bubble extended out.
You got to keep them in front of you.
Yeah.
Deepest. So they go up 14-6 at halftime, and I think that it kind of took the air out of the stadium. It took the air potentially out of our guys, and they got up on us, 35 to 13. Early in the fourth quarter. Did we give up? Not a chance.
No.
We went down the field. We scored. All of a sudden, it's 35-20. We stop them, and we're marching down the field. And if we punch it in, it's 35-27. Then you're looking at an onside kick.
Kirk probably would have just kicked it deep then.
Okay, fair enough.
But,
well,
yeah, you guys would have onside kicked it.
Yeah, Rhodes was on a mission. Jance went long and happened to get picked off. But once again, that was aggressive move. I can't get after Jance. It was
playing
play
for the
call.
win.
Yeah, so they were playing for the win. It didn't happen. You know what? I'm going to give a lot of credit to Jeremiah George filling in for Jake Knott.
He's all over the place.
As I stated, Jake Knott is Iowa State's Chuck Norris. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But Jeremiah George played very well. It hurt us a lot when Jansen Watson went out with a leg injury, did not come back in the game. Cliff Stokes came in, led the team in tackles, but that also means that they picked on him a lot. So, granted, he did lead the team in tackles, but it wasn't the kind of lead team in tackles you want to see.
Right.
Because that means that his man caught the ball quite often. So, our coverage was hurt a little bit. I was going in thinking our linebackers is going to be an issue. Jeremiah George ran laterally very well. They are a fast team, Oklahoma. If we had Jake Knott, do they lose a yard or two on each run? Probably, but Jeremiah did a very serviceable job. Got the deflection to get the second pick for Iowa State. I don't know if any other team in the last 4 years can say that they picked off Landry Jones 2 straight passes.
Probably not.
But we can now.
Yeah.
So it was, we played tough. I left the game thinking, you know what, I'm okay with this. I really am. We had a chance to score and do an onside kick at the end. Iowa State's onside kick, well, they've been kind of favorable to Iowa State since we've had Paul Rhodes. So there's the chances are we don't get it, but guess what? There's always that hope when it comes to these guys. They don't give up, and Paul Rhodes, has some tricks up his sleeve. So, we got, here's the deal with Iowa State going forward. We have a chance to win the next 3 games. I have no doubt in my mind. Texas is getting a little bit stronger. You can kind of see them gelling, coming together. But because they beat Texas Tech, that's kind of a rivalry game. So anything can happen in that game, in my opinion. Iowa State, Texas is not really a rivalry game. Do I think Texas Tech is better than Texas? Yeah, I still do. Texas got the better of them on that particular game. I think we can go down and we can beat Texas at Texas. Done
it before.
Yep, they struggled against Kansas. They got blown out by this Oklahoma team that we played really, really strong. I'm just not really all that scared of them. To be quite frank, I'm a little more scared of going to Kansas than Texas, because if we beat Texas, can you say trap game?
Yeah.
You're heading down to a winless Big 12 Kansas team who's pesky as heck, and knowing that we got Black Friday against West Virginia and that high-powered offense on national television, I'm telling you right now, I'm a little more worried about that Kansas game. Well, maybe not right now, as we speak. If we beat Texas, I am really worried about that Kansas game. I just have this bad feeling.
I'm worried about Kansas game regardless, because if they lose to Texas, there's a lot of pressure on that Kansas game. Yep. Because I agree with you. I think they can win all three.
Yeah, I think they can.
They could lose all three.
I think, exactly what I was thinking. It could be a 3-0. It could be an 0-3.
Yeah, the odds of 0-3 are pretty slim. But I mean, that is something that could happen. The odds of that slimness is much slimmer. Let's just say it's a lot different than, say, the slimness of Iowa 0-3 or 3-0 in their next
correct
3 games.
Well, here's a percentage. If someone said, "What's a higher percentage? Iowa State winning all 3 or losing all 3?"
Wow.
I would say winning all 3.
Absolutely.
It's a higher percentage, but there's still that percentage that they could lose all 3.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, but I don't want to see it happen. I know no one wants to see it happen, but it could. So it's scary. However, I do think we have the team to go down to Texas, and I think we could pull the upset there. Kansas is just going to be that thorn in our side. Can we pluck it? I think we can. There's another win. And then West Virginia coming in. What happens when they see a defense? Okay? We've seen them play a defense in Kansas State. Blown out. We've seen them play a defense in Texas Tech. Got blown out.
Didn't do too much.
Okay? They played really not much of a defense in Texas. I don't think Texas' defense is all that spectacular. Baylor's obviously isn't all that spectacular. TCU's is decent, and they still lost that one. So, when they hit defenses, we can, defenses slow that team down.
Yeah.
They just didn't play any defenses in the first 6 games.
It's good for marketing.
Heck yeah, it is. It's good for Geno Smith's Heisman campaign off the bat. But I think West Virginia could come into a cyclone come November.
Why not?
23rd.
Yeah.
So, and that'll just be a huge. You know what? That'll be a fun day for the state of Iowa. Channel 5 is carrying 2 games nationally that day. I think 2 games. Are they carrying a night one?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, 2 games.
I hope not. Pumpkin Chunkin's on.
Fair enough. So, once again, 2 games on national TV that day. The first one is held in Iowa City. The second one held in Ames, Iowa. Yeah. Basically, all of ABC Sports is going to be in the state of Iowa.
And I'll be working.
But ABC Sports will too.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Go get them, Dave.
I think we should have some pretty good announcers for those 2 games too.
I would say so.
No, you got nothing else to do.
No.
Unless they're shopping.
They can come over and have some turkey if they'd like.
Yeah. So, do I think Iowa State's going to get to a bowl game? Yes, I really do. Does my prediction of 7-5 look pretty good? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Does my prediction of the Car Care Bowl down in Dallas look good? At this point, looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I could hit both of those right on the money.
Yeah.
Last year, I had 7-5, went 6-6, but I had the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
So, looking pretty decent. Pretty solid.
My 9-3's off, but you'll have that.
Yeah, just wasn't meant to be this year.
Nope, and that's okay.
But so let's switch.
All right.
What else is going on, Chuck?
Iowa men field hockey, Sweet 16. Good job out of you ladies.
You just said Iowa men.
Iowa women.
Okay.
It's all Iowa women. Iowa women. IOWOMEN. Iowa women.
So they get number 7. Virginia.
Yes.
In Virginia.
Yeah.
Can they pull the upset?
Oh, yeah. Iowa women field hockey team, they can do that.
Okay. What are they ranked?
Yeah, like 22nd.
Okay. Well, good for Iowa women field hockey team. If I watched it a little more, I probably would have a little more to say about it.
That's all right.
But congratulations is in order.
Yeah.
And we've congratulated it on CyHawkThoughts. So
yes. Check us out.
Yes.